How do you feel when someone tells you you are wrong and they're so certain they are right? How do you feel when your voice isn't heard because you're not on a level playing field? It wouldn't be a stretch to say that negative feelings arise from these environments of certainty and superiority. These environments can often be found in the classroom setting, and consequently, students' efficacy towards learning can be affected by these disconfirming messages. My assertion is that provisionalism over certainty and quality over superiority has a positive benefit to the communication climate in the classroom so that students want to participate in it. As a student myself, I've seen the extremes of both of these relational dialectics, and my research has shown the characteristics of healthy communication in the classroom. In this presentation, we will take a look at the research to show the positive benefits provisionalism has over certainty, and the same will be shown for equality and superiority. To begin, let's take a look at the first relational dialectic, that is provisionalism versus certainty. Certainty occurs when a communicator is so sure they are right that their opinions become dogma. Provisionalism, on the other hand, has the communicator presenting their opinions as suggestions while being open to new ideas. The research we'll have examining the topic is a journal article out of the National Communication Association titled "The Effects of Provisionalism and Verbal Immediacy in Written Assessments on Student Learning and Student Motivations and Effective Learning." The author, James Catt and Stephen Collins, in association with the University of Central Florida. The research problem they chose to tackle was, does the type of feedback affect student motivation and effective learning? They took 300 undergraduate students and put them in a provisional type of feedback group and a certainty type of feedback group. In the certainty type of feedback group, they would get feedback such as, your conclusion was abrupt. While in the provisional type of feedback group, they would receive feedback such as, I thought your conclusion seemed abrupt. This feedback would be presented in booklets handed to the students that, following the feedback, they would rate a scale on their student motivation and effective learning. The results were that those in the provisional feedback group felt that their state motivation and effective learning were higher than those in the certainty feedback groups. The takeaway here is that very subtle distinctions between verbal delivery can have appreciable benefits towards student motivation and effective learning. Therefore, instructors can have a positive impact on the communication climate if they choose their words carefully. Now, let's move on to the second relational dialectic, that is superiority versus equality. Superiority is characterized by a communicator expressing that they are above those that they are communicating with, while equality, on the other hand, has the communicator valuing the opinions of others despite differences in qualifications and experience. The research we'll have looking at the topic is also a journal article out of the National Communication Association. The title, Unconventionally Exploring the Superiority-Equality Dialectic in the College Classroom, authored by Chen Campbell in association with the University of Wisconsin. The research problems they chose to tackle were, how do superiority and equality appear in the classroom? And what are the relational results of that manifestation? They observed 4 classrooms over the course of a semester, and they interviewed the teachers and students on their opinions on the matter. The results were that the professors would favor environments of equality over that of superiority. There is an implicit degree of superiority that the professor has with their control of the classroom. However, these professors try to instill equality between them and their students. Examples: the anthropology professor would go and hand out the syllabus to each and every student and compliment them. He would also, every day, try to dress like them. The biology professor would walk the aisles and hand the mic to the students. The business professor went so far as to belittle his own Ivy League education to make him seem like a normal person. And whenever he had assignments, he would always ask them to do it, rather than demand them to. In general, all of these professors gave inclusive gestures such as smiling and eye contact. The students found that the classes were much more enjoyable, that the professor made learning interesting because of these facts. Furthermore, the students felt like the professor was one of their own, as if a friend they could talk to. The biology professor explains her thought process on this relationship. She said that if she opened up to their students and had them open up to her, they were more likely to participate in class discussions in the future. And the students shared the same sentiment. They felt like there was very little inhibition from them participating in class discussions. The takeaway here is that students and professors having equality between each other can encourage more participation and engagement in the class environment because of this positive communication climate. Overall, provisionalism over certainty and equality over superiority provide a better communication climate for the class to exist within. I hope you all now know what those characteristics are of a good learning environment. Whether you are still in school or you haven't gone to school in years, we learn every day, and therefore we have opportunities to send and receive confirming messages that are both provisional and exemplify equality. This research out of the National Communication Institute shows how beneficial this can be, and I hope you all apply this to your lives. Thank you.